Big Rob with the Up From Slavery Booker T Washington.
There you go. That's why I'm not trying to Harlem. No. Okay. Come back. That's a school kid thing. So what the brother, this is one of us, you know. What I'm saying to do is put some money in my pocket. Boom, I'm did. So that was a bit help.
You see how life works.
Keep in the building, Lord.
See how life works. I just bump it to keep.
They couldn't, when I say couldn't, I never took money from them. So they could have never pay me. So what my man see. That's the other hand. Yeah, Blackie.
Greetings, everybody, and welcome to another episode of and a new season. New episode, let me not downplay it. New season, Don't Judge the Book, a book by the author. Today we have special guests, my brother on a journey, brother in real life, such an inspiring individual for the game. You've done so much that hasn't been highlighted. You've done so much that, I don't know, people know you more off social media than they would on social media, and you are probably responsible for a large amount of the population in northeast London, definitely, but a lot of that 2% of black people within UK to read books. You're probably the first, you're not an author, but you are the first book promoter in this country who hasn't had their own shop. So I want to introduce none other than Big Suls, Sully, Tottenham's finest. Yeah, my brother, it's a pleasure. It's an honour, it's a pleasure, and it's an honour. So yeah, thank you for coming here, man. I just want to give you roses publicly. Yeah, I think it's very important the work you've done, even before meeting you myself, and there's a long history to the work you've done. So yeah, I would like you to just tell the people who you are before I start questioning you.
I'm Sulaiman from Black Child Promotions, and I've been disseminating information with educational materials, books, even in the early days, DVDs.
Yeah,
you know,
West Green Road.
Because some people are visual learners also. So, you know, from the 2003, I had a part-time job at a organisation called Groundings, where you had Brother Mikey, legendary Brother Mikey
West Green Road Bookshop.
Yeah. And even before then, the original Seven Sisters Market, which was more of a Caribbean and African market before it turned into the Colombian market. But we used to work in the shop, and in 2003, Mikey was the one that really said, you know what, go and propagate, you know, on the corner, which was called Ward's Corner, you know, later on the Conscious Corner, and you know, other people were there. Big up Kida, you know, who still sells the incense out there. Big up Abel,
big up,
you know, Ras Fluxy, he was out there from early. You know, so many people were out there. So my journey started in 2003, and from I was there, I found it a key space to galvanize, you know, the youth.
So let's just slow it down for anyone who doesn't know who you are in terms of when I say introduce yourself, your name. Sully is he has a store which started in Seven Sisters, if I'm correct to say.
Seven Sisters.
And on this store, he promotes literature. And it's predominantly black authors.
Black authors or black subject matter.
Black subject matter. And he's been doing so for years. So when I gave the introduction, I'm trying to explain that he's been promoting books on that store to many people outside Seven Sisters Tube Stations for years, and it's now evolved and grown into something else. So I wanted people to know exactly what your position is. would you call yourself a book promoter?
I would say that I receive and impart information. There's an African proverb that says I receive and impart information, because there's an African proverb that says only a fool knows everything. So there's a characteristic within the African culture called Ubuntu, which means I exist because we exist. So we need to see each other like, you know, if you have one charismatic figure, if something happens to that figure, then, you know, the rest of the organizations are in disarray. So it's each one teach one. And I've been educated a lot throughout my journey, you know, with the interactions I've had on the stall with people who have got tacit knowledge that isn't explicit to everybody, you know, through life experience, not just through reading books, but through, even you're one of them, you know, through life experience and the life journey, which compels them to write it in a book. Or so it's not just big off, it's anybody who's got a journey that I've been able to interact with, and I've learned many lessons, and I've also disseminated a lot through, you know, knowledge of culture, because as you know, in mainstream institutions, you know, ever since they had the Macpherson report, it said that it's institutional racism, which means that they don't promote black literature. They might have black, Black History Month, but our history can't be encapsulated within 1 month. It's easier to talk about British history in a month than it is African or black history. You know, so we do it 365 days a year as a way of life. Not just like one time we pop up. We've been popping up, you know, from Seven Sisters, you know, we'll come to Brixton, and also, you know, the first all-black bookstore in central London, which is Oxford Street, which is one of the busiest streets in the world. And, you know, we've been able to reach a lot of youth, which are the next generation, and just through providing something tangible, you know, something that they can touch, something that they can feel. Yes, we can do it online, but the personal interaction, nothing beats that, you know.
Yeah, for sure. I just want to commend you again for having it still. What year did you say it started? 2003?
2003.
You know the craziest thing, I was just about to say, I don't remember that bookstore growing up, but to be fair, I was a father by 2004. So I was kind of in the city, well, I was still a teenager, but I was grown up. I was living in Tottenham when I had my son. Broadway by Linney Road, Bristol, and I think I remember driving past it a few times, but where I was from, Hackney, I didn't always want to be seen in Tottenham on foot, so I don't think I ever really took it in until I came to meeting you. So I want to say, when I met you, I'm going to how I met you, but when I met you, it was, right, people doing this. This is big. And I was a bit frustrated because I was like, is it my ignorance? Because 2003, I released my first book in 2012 or 13. Let's go with 13. Bernie Grants, which is just 100-meter sprint from where you did the bookstore. But I hadn't met you before I released the book. So that was a bit frustrating to me when I had met you afterwards. Like, I could have had my man at the book launch, I could have connected with you from the jump, but I connected with you a bit, everything in God's timing. But my frustration was the lack of us knowing. So don't judge the book by the author. There's a platform for us to promote predominantly black authors. I'm not singular on the black thing. Working class, white authors, I don't care what background, everyone's welcome on this platform. But it's to get those books which are being judged because of their background. So this is the reason why I thought my book would have always got judged when I first wrote the book, because I knew no one really buys into black authors. But yeah, let's say, just before we go into your inspiration or your motivation for why you felt this was something that was important to do, let's talk about how we met. How do you remember?
I remember another member of Black Child Promotion, an old school member, Abana. Or I call him Banzai.
Big bro, Abana. And Tiverton, big up Abana.
There was an event that was taking place. I forgot the name of the event, but I know it was in Tottenham somewhere.
I remember. I just remember where we met. I think I got that picture. Nah, I know exactly where we met.
And then
Langham School.
We took interest because we saw you promoting the book. yourself, because one thing, you know, we're not funded by the Prince's Trust. We don't have large revenue in order to operate. And one thing I've respected about your journey is that you've done a lot with the little resources that you have, which is the epitome of self-reliance, what the Most Honourable Marcus Garvey talks about. A lot of people talk Garvey, but they don't live Garvey. So the fact that you've been self-reliant and, you know, using, you know, the little resources you have to promote this on a large scale is very impressive. So going back to it, when I first met you, me and Banzai was walking past, and then you were promoting your book, and then we started conversing from there. You know, I think we exchanged numbers and stuff, and we just kept.
That wasn't the first time we met at the event, because I remember us meeting at an event.
Yeah, I think that was the first time.
You know what?
No?
It was Mikey's son. Mikey's son was shorter than me then.
Yeah.
I got the picture. And there was a shorter little rusted child. I don't know who he was with. I don't think it might have been Mikey's little brother.
Yeah.
It could have been Mikey's little brother. Not Mikey, sorry, Mikey's son's little brother. And it was a banner, and it was you in the picture and myself, and there was a few of us. And this is when I did a book launch. I either did a book launch at Marcus Garvey in Tottenham Green, or there was no, I'm lying, it wasn't Tottenham Green, it was Langham School. I remember what it was. It was Langham School, West Green Road, and there was a black event where they were selling black made and black business owned sheer butter and necklaces, and I met you there. I came with the books. That's where I met you. And I think I spoke to you. I don't know when I got your number, but I think I came down from maybe an invite from a banner, and I came down and I saw you, and that's when we really
we were conversing about the concept of the book. Me, you, and Banzai. You know, I remember. You know, and from there, I say later on we started, you know, collaborating. A lot of one of our number one titles at one time was Prisoner to the Streets, especially when we moved from Tottenham and started operating in Brixton. A lot of the youth who have been of that mentality or still in it used to gravitate towards the books heavily.
So let's speak, when you had the book on the stool, because there was times, just for the people, you've had the stool in Seven Sisters, you've had the stool in Brixton by
the Iceland, just by Brixton Market.
And you also go to Oxford Street.
Which has been about 8 years now. And in between that, because I want to give you the full, you know, scope, we've been to Stratford, we've been to Croydon.
Oh, I remember you going to Stratford.
We went to Peckham, Riley.
Okay. I didn't know that.
I didn't know that. We also, where there was, we've been to Birmingham, Bullring. You know, we used to just pop up.
Oh, is that where I saw you when we was at Birmingham that time?
I think it might.
Oh no, that was Selena's event. That was something.
Yeah, that was the Black British Book Festival. But before that, we used to just, our thing was, you know, let's hit as many areas as possible. Yeah. Because before it used to just be in Tottenham, you know. Okay. And, you know, I said, you know what, if you can sell in Tottenham, where people, you got a lot of street scholars and or you got people who think they know everything.
Stereotype that
but I'm saying it's a hard sell. It used to be a hard sell. So I said, you know what, if I can do so well in Tottenham, why not take the culture of what we're doing here up to different areas? And it was always successful. Shepherd's Bush, we went to Shepherd's Bush. Okay. You know, and you see that, you know, some of the people that are MCs now or whatever in the industry, they used to even pass by and take interest into what we're doing, because one common denominator is that a lot of these books have been hidden from us.
So let me give more insight to people again. I understand from the perspective outside looking in that a lot of your books are books through, which was, you've linked up with, shouts out to Papa Kaya.
Uncle Pepper Kaya, Nkrumah Pepper Kaya.
And he's been doing books for years, but a lot of the books that he's getting are not books as you could go into traditional bookshops and go and get access some of these books. I don't know if they've been banned, but they were banned.
Decolonizing the African Mind's been banned, Western the Rest of Us, and Anatomy of Female Power, Revolutionary Author Chinwezu. Most of
that's the book that we was talking about on the store, but we'll show that as well. So that being that, not just that you're promoting books that are not easily accessible in shops. So I think that's another key thing, because a lot of, and this is what I say, don't judge a book by the author. It's not really about just the author, it's about the industry, it's about how we can access books. Why is it so easy or so hard to access certain books? So for me, it's like black authors don't really get a platform to be in your mainstream
bookshops. Yeah.
And they don't always get mainstream publishing unless they're favoured by a certain set of people. So that's why I say what you're doing. Instead of us complaining about what we don't have and how unfair it is and where it is to access, and that's why I think it's an honour for me to have you here, because it goes hand in hand with what I stand for in terms of promoting us reading, engaging. And that was never my intention in writing Prison to the Street. But I found from writing to Prison to the Street, and even hearing from people who have read the book, that this is the first book I've ever read. And I'm like, wow, like, why? And like, because the language in which you wrote it, and I know that was the aim, that was the style of writing. It's the reason why I was able to pick it up and read it all the way through. And I have to thank you for pushing my book, because funny enough, I was born in South London, Lambeth, it says that on my birth certificate. And I had to go Brixton to get my birth certificate. But you told me and sent me some pictures of people holding the book Prison to the Street.
Yeah.
And
big up Chucky Online for the support.
Yeah, Chucky Online. Listen, come to Link Black Child Promotions again. Always up for the re-up. In Oxford Street, I've been seeing these man for a long time, but this one, I'm looking forward to this. If you want to get a good book, especially some history stuff, you can link the man them here. Yeah, love and guidance every time.
Yeah, man, enough love and respect, my brother.
Personally, I just want to give thanks because you having the book on those stores in areas such as Brixton, Oxford Street, and Tottenham, they're not places, and having the stores specifically, they're not places where my book would have reached a lot of those individuals. A bookshop wouldn't have enabled that to happen. Of all the promotion that I did, of all the, I don't know, trying to highlight this book, it was your platform that's allowed it to reach places that I could never fathom. And before we had that camera malfunction, I was saying thank you. And then as the cameras cut, you showed me some pictures, and it's blown me away. I knew that book had reached people via Black Child Promotion, but I had no idea that it was that large. The magnitude of it is insane. So yeah, I want to say thank you, bro, from the core of my heart. You've had my back from, I don't know when we met, but you've had my back from since we've met all the way through this journey. And it's not easy. That's why I'm doing a platform like this, for authors to get known for whatever reason, not just myself, but various authors to get known for whatever reason. There's blockages, but you have to keep pushing.
Yeah. And
you have enabled that book to reach these faces, and if they've not read it, the book's in their house. Whoever goes in their house to read it, as you were saying, there's people who didn't take pictures. And yeah, I just wanted to say thank you, and I'm a bit overwhelmed, if I'm honest with you, so I'm just gonna let you talk.
Well, it's the thanks is reciprocal. I thank you for having the time and dedicating the time to, publish great works. I'm not just talking about Prisoner to the Streets. I'm talking about Freedom from the Streets. I'm talking about Mama Can't Raise No Man. These books actually resonated with a lot of the community because they deal with current topics, and not just current topics that have been relevant to our community ever since we came to this country. So I thank you for the great works. And previously, I forgot to big up Keish as well from So Solid. He got
so
prison.
Big up everyone, man. It was Chucky you started with. It's Andrew. Yeah. Sorry, Andrew. Let me just talk about Andrew.
Yes.
Because you call him Teaser. Andrew Shirley, my brother. To see that picture, and I didn't have to see it because I remembered it, but to see it again just made me laugh, because me and Andrew in Tiverton Primary School was always the ones fighting. Every Monday. I even write about that in Prison to the Street. I said there's me and another guy called Andrew Shirley who had anger issues and was always getting it cracking, but we never fought each other. We were best of friends. And we were always sitting outside the reception all the way through, from probably year 1, 2, all the way through to when I left the school. Me and him outside, not in class, in trouble, being punished. We sit outside. The teacher thought we had anger management, so she let us make us hit a teddy bear because we would come to school angry. And I talk about that in Prison to the Street. So to see him holding freedom from the street and standing in Oxford, I'm like, wow. And I know that my brother's had some issues with the law where they put him in and out for whatever reason. So I'm like, he's told me he's been in jail when he's heard people talk about it. Then he's coming out and see. Exactly. I'm like, God, we serve a magnificent God, and I want to give thanks to you. But we both serve the Most High. The Most High has showed us gratitude beyond belief, mercy beyond belief, grace beyond belief. Sorry, all those things. And I'm like, the blessings that we sometimes I'm a person who's always gonna go, I've got the next thing, I've got to do that. I never sit down and wait. So why I'll forget what's happened. I've forgotten that we've met up so much time, and you've come and bought 10 books off me at a time, or 20 books off me at a time, and I'll forget because I'm like, all right, that's done. Tomorrow I've got to go and do this. So I've got to go to this area. It's bad. It's like a drug dealer's mentality in the sense of you let the shot, but you're not thinking about. You're thinking to pick up again. Like,
and that's one thing I want to tell you, that if you look at it, a lot of these drug dealers, with that principle that they have of reading up and mathematics, if they apply that to something else, they'll be millionaires and billionaires.
And you've shown me through knowledge, the line's been popping through Black Child Promotions. We've reached the masses. So I just gotta say thank you to you. Big up everyone in those pictures you support. Big up Brixton, all the people, wherever you're from, Brixton or not. Everyone who came and not only bought a book but was comfortable enough to stand by books. So because I don't know how to express on yourself. Black Child Promotion. People say that black people don't support one another. It's a myth.
It's a myth.
It's just not spoken about when they do support one another. So Brown Eagle, I always talk about them. Rest in peace, Sean. Big up, Sonny. Rest in peace, Sean. He's bought books, not just. He's paid for books to get printed. At one stage when I got ripped off by one printer's company who messed up at the Empire, Freedom from the Street. He bought books, sold the books, and didn't ask for no money. And had them in his shop. Tell me what other nation of people do that since we don't support each other.
Exactly.
Yourself, you've done the same thing. What's the name of that guy's Instagram? I can't remember his Instagram. Block Books.
Yeah,
Block
Books.
What a legend.
Yeah,
he's bought 100 books of me one time.
I think Malik,
brother Malik.
Big him up, man.
He's bought 100 books of me one time.
Yeah.
I never knew.
I remember.
I've gone to South London to meet the guy. He told me, why do you need 100 books? What, are you a teacher? Are you work in prisons? No, block books. What do you mean block books? Yeah, I'm just going to buy in the blocks, bro, and get them out.
Yeah. Come on, man. We got Malik every time.
So we never really, and this is why it's important for me to have you as the opening for season 2, because unsung heroes like yourself have been pushing knowledge before I was even reading books. 2003, I wasn't reading books. 2003, I was on attempted murder charge with Green Crown Court, waiting for my son to be born.
Yeah. Being
blamed for another murder of a friend of mine who was killed in Hackney. That's my 2003. So to be meeting someone years later who was doing the work, it's like, I can't act like, how can I say it? You've been doing the work from before I was even transferred into a warfare. You've been.
To tell you the truth, I had no choice, brother.
Bro, listen, I salute you, man.
You know why I had no choice?
Everyone has a choice.
Well, that is true. But
growing up in Tottenham, you could have been in prison to the street.
Definitely, bro.
So we gotta give, and this is what people don't like to do. Not just the roses. We gotta stop acting like people are, or I knew this before he knew this, or I was not. Yeah. I was a prison to the street. I was ignorant with that way of thinking. You was standing up for us as a people. We're the same age.
Yeah.
You was standing up for the people while I was one of the problems. So if I had walked past 2003, I'm 18 or whatever, I walked past, I was 17, I walked past and I see you pull me up and I read a book. It could have all changed it. Instead I haven't.
Yeah.
Instead, I've had a son in 2004, I've lived in Tottenham and I've still not seen you. And I've written a book and I've come to meet you at Langham, and it's like the works that we're doing collectively, they say one hand can't clap. So I want to big up yourself, I want to big up Block Books, I want to big up New Beacons have had me like, whoa, look, man, I can't thank New Beacons.
And there's a few shout outs as well.
The love you've given me, New Beacons.
It's all from the heart.
Block Books. I don't want to forget no one. Brian Eagle, Peppers and Spice in Dalston. It's now Bullspond Road, but Dalston. Sister P, Mama P. The love, Sister Patsy, Mama Patsy, the love they've given me has been ridiculous. So the community has upheld me when I felt like the industry was pushing me down. So I just want to say from the core of my heart, thank you.
And I would also like to say thank you to Nkrumah Pepper Kai, my mother as well. That's why I said that in a way, my mother introduced me to Pan-Africanism from when I was young. I remember I used to, if I'm being real, well, my mum used to call me Sulaiman Yauku Nyambui. That's the name from birth that I had, Yauku Nyambui. Which means basically born on a Wednesday. Because my godfather was an Ewe chief, or related to an Ewe chief. His name was Fojo, rising power. So I actually had an outdoor ceremony, naming ceremony like that. Because my mum was very much a part of, the Pan-African community. So I remember I even big up Uncle Minka, because when I was rude and stuff, because, tumultuous, upbringing sometimes, but I remember having to write 1,000 lines. My Uncle Minka's got me writing 1,000 lines. I will not disrespect, and I'm not saying I'm perfect, but what I'm saying is that the training that I had from an early age when it comes to African liberation and liberating the minds of our people, even when I went to the reparations conference in 2002 in Barbados, it had a lot to do with my journey, because it isn't about, I think Esther Stanford, big her up as well, from formerly the Society of Black Lawyers. She said that reparations doesn't start with monetary gain, or it starts with repairing the damage that was done. You understand? At a time like even this is like a space where we can talk about our experiences without any judgment or any, any funny vibes. We're family, we're an extended family, we're part of the village. It takes a village to raise a child. So I would always say, thank you to Minka Dofu, thank you for rest in peace, Afroweeka Bantu, thank you for Elder Pepperkai, thank you for Brother Binny, Professor Barish, Nana Bonso, so many other Brother Nows from Northwest.
The elders, the these sound like elders.
Yeah, I've been raised amongst the Baba Ade, rest in peace. These are the elders that really, gave me no choice. They said, listen, Solomon, you can use what little you have to uplift the community, or you can use it to destroy the community. So, if you look at, not to shift it to another direction, but if you look at most of the entertainment, a lot of these industries are controlled by people who find our deaf their entertainment. Talking about lyrics that not uplift your people, but are talking about disrespecting women, talking about all of these things. But the point is that they're just living their life experience. But the big establishments are the ones that are profiting from us even calling ourselves the N-words and all that. Who profits from it? We don't profit from it. You understand? And this is why your book is so important, because once we come out of that prisoner mindset, we find out that the world is bigger than it ends, or geographic location, because we're the original people of the earth.
A way of thinking.
A way of
you in prison.
Exactly.
So from what I liked about me and you, before I ask you the next question, is that you always seem to overstamp what I mean by the philosophy Prison to the Street. You knew it was more than a book. Have you been judged by the Pan-Africanism of the books you're judging as Pan-Africanism and Black literature? Have you been judged? Has your stools been judged? Have you ever received any negative experiences that you would like to share on your journey?
Well, do you know what it is? It's, as you say, same case
that you've had to overcome.
The race isn't for the swift, but who can endure. And let me tell you this, when I first started in 2003, I remember Mikey introduced me to working out on the front lines, and it was a beautiful community then. But the only thing is that when we used to gather in large groups, because then it was all about reasoning about that space that we had in the corner was a safe place where we could discuss politics, sociology, and the rest of it without anybody judging, from all age groups. But what used to happen is there used to be complaints against people that people made against us, saying that we're noise pollution and we're selling drugs on the corner, and so we've been raided many times. You know, if you look at Nuba, he's still out there on Ward's Corner, and he's
So the bookstore's been
raided many times. You know, way back from 2005, 2008. Even my friends, some of them joined later on. They used to you know, cuss the police when they come and taking away our stuff. And then what happened was in 2016, I remember the police and the council came down on us, told us to move. I refused to move because I said I'm primary purpose trading, meaning I'm trading on behalf of a charity, because we're attached to the Marmot Art Centre, 366A High Road, Tottenham, and part of the money goes into you know, restitution of the building and you know, works of the building, because we're not, as I said, we're not funded by Princess Trust, so we get our, you know, our money through raising money through going out on the front lines. So, you know, I remember telling them this in Brixton, and we got caught up in a drug raid, because they thought, you know, before, even when I got to Brixton, they were like, oh, you know, you can only operate, like, we've got you on camera taking money from people and everything, and you can't just open a business here. I said, we're primary purpose trading, so that means we're raising money for our charity. And if Socialist newspaper can do what they're doing, and other, you know, groups can do what they're doing.
Yeah, with this in Brixton.
This was 2016.
Because I remember just because
so leading up to this, we
did a build up
yeah.
from 2005, and I remember 2016.
And even 2016 was a special year, because I remember, you know, I was in Jamaica. I spent a lot of time with my dad over what they call Christmas or whatever, and seeing the struggle over there kind of said, you know what, I'm in a first world country, I might as well just go harder. So that was like the first time, even though I'd been other places before, I decided to branch out to Brixton. It was me, Uncle Michael, and a few other people from the community, because it's very much a community store. So if I say, yeah, well, let's go up there, some brothers from the ends will just help me go up there with me. And I remember going up there, it was like beautiful. Like as soon as we went up there, we couldn't even set up the table. People were like, you know, and we're like, yo, we have to come up here more regular. So it isn't just about Tottenham, because we can make 3 times as much being in Brixton than we can in Tottenham, even though Tottenham's the foundation, because that's where you hone your skills. So, you know, when we went there, it was just a beautiful experience. People tipping us, saying, what you're doing is beautiful. Give it that. That's the first time I even saw black wealth, because in Tottenham, a lot of us are suffering and thing, yeah. All over, it's not just Tottenham, but I'm saying Brixton at that time, I saw men that were Pan-Africanists walking with their queen, saying, yo, I used to do what you were doing, so I buy these books. I got them already, but I'll buy them again. And here's another £80 just because, you know, I like what you're doing. And that's the first time I kind of saw that type of authentic gravitation. So we said Brixton has to be a staple. But what happened is that the council then said to us, you can't operate here. There's a lot of, you know, nefarious. There's nothing nefarious with just distributing books. We used to call it the Black Wall Street, because other traders, it was like our block. You know what I'm saying? Our like economics, communication, all sorts. And then what happened is, the man was with the council guy that didn't like us was with a bag of police, and he thought, this is the time that I want to confront this guy to move. So I refused to move, presented my Marcus Garvey charity papers, gave them the charity number. I told them, according to the European Convention that was applicable at the time, we've got a right to receive and impart information about and all of that kind of stuff. So he was getting very frustrated. One thing led to another.
That was on video, right?
Yeah.
I remember it, I know the story's going on.
And then stuff happened, they grabbed me, whatever. So when that happened, one thing that I commend Brixton community for is these people that are in Brixton are buying books for me, £25, £40, even some of the books are £40, you know, to reinvest in a charity and so forth. And when we were locked up by the police, not one book was taken. They kept our books safe. Books that they buy every day, they kept books safe.
So the community when you
kept,
got arrested, you said.
Yeah, the community kept all of our books safe. Like, man, they all like saying, look, You understand? So they presented our books, all not even one missing. Then they gathered outside the Brixton police station. People know me from the community, people Pan-African, even yourself. It gave me great comfort to know that, you know, real warriors in the community. Like, I remember we had like a 2-hour conversation. So it was a lot of support. And to tell you the truth, even at that time, not to go on a tangent, but I went.
That was the time that triggered me, I'll be honest with you. That time there, because people know my story, man. I've been stopped by police 2,000, or many times, but I've been stopped by stop and search by police over 100 times. I found out the other day from talking to an officer. But when I got stopped during COVID and they said I had firearms in my car and in the boot, they lied. They tried to tase me. A whole long story. But then in Hackney Gazette, they claimed that I had the drugs on me and I was failing to stop, and I stopped before you even turned the sirens on. How could I be failing to stop? You had to do a U-turn. So all of these lies, I'm like, all right, cool, where's the camera footage? All of a sudden it's not working because my friend, or another guy, I didn't really know him, but he's my friend now, he started recording and said, I know who Robin is, he wrote the books, blah blah blah. But when they opened the boot looking for firearms, there's books. You Google my name, that story's still on there. They said come in and make a complaint if you want, etc. So it triggered me because being from that past, trying to change, actually changing, and working on your flaws while changing, it enraged me. I wanted to come down, and a person like me wouldn't have come down to Brixton. If I was there on that day, I would have gone to jail that day for GBH. I would have probably got done in after, but the fact is, the emotional, what's the word I'm looking for? That's my PTSD. I would have got it cracking because my whole thing is promoting books. And when I saw you're my brother, so there's another emotional connection, and I know who you are. It's not like you're a guy who is in the industry trying to be a celebrity and pretending to do, because there's a lot of people, I know some people call it vulture coaches, I call it, I don't even know what to call it, I'm about to find a name for it, pretend community carers who get highlighted for pretending to care, and then they get funded for pretending to get, but really the agenda, but that's neither here nor there. The point I'm making is I know your spirit's real, and seeing that the police deal with you in that manner, when I saw the footage, I'm not getting Brixton.
And I tell you what,
I'm not coming to Brixton. Even in the aftermath, I'm not coming to Brixton because I'm not going to be just standing at the station shouting and making up noise because the way I was raised. So my whole thing is this: I commend you again, and I'm not here to attack police. This isn't a shot at the police, for not only the way you dealt with it. So it wasn't a fight. I know it got a bit physical, whatever, in the beginning, and then you started to cool because I know you're a strong guy, and there was so much of it. But the way you came back up, because my reaction would have got us both in trouble. Facts. No, it would have got us both in trouble. But in hindsight, I'm like, good thing I weren't there. Because you told me to come Brixton many times, and I would have come there and just chilled, and I would have probably liked the vibe, and it'd been a regular spot for me. It would have been a massive way for me to promote my books if I really wanted. I didn't have to go nowhere else. This is how big your thing became. I knew I could always just chill in Brixton for one day with a box of books, and because I'm the author there, they would all sell.
Of course.
But I never took those, so it could have been that day, and I'm like, I'm so grateful the way you showed restraint, and then you came back. I didn't know about the support. In fact, I didn't know that you said they protected the books. I remember at the time you just reminded me. You came back, and you not only come back, you have you went back to Brixton. You had the same support. You never left, and I was like, sometimes you got to go through the fire. They say the bronze to make gold. To make gold, you got to go through the fire, basically. So you went through the fire, and I commend you for your journey and sticking it through. I commend you again. There's going to be a lot of commendation just for you being here and starting something. So even for me, if someone said to me when I first started, okay, who was promoting books before you? Because you're one of the first books I've ever read. A lot of people have said that to me. I'm like, nah, it's not me. Alright, I won't lie, I didn't know about New Beacons growing up. I'll be lying if I said I did. Until I became author, there's a lot of stuff because I had a disinterest. I didn't care about things. But now I'm like, okay, no, there were people here. New Beacons have been here for how long? Sulaiman's been on the streets with the people. And that's why I said you're on the front line, literally. promoting books, it's dangerous, it's evident. And you kept coming back. So my guy, as my brother, bro, there's so much salutation. You don't understand. It's like, yo, how you keep bouncing back? And then I look at myself and I think, yeah, he's just one of us. I get it, man. He's got that Zulu spirit. He's got that ride or dying, and he's got that.
You know what? Every day I wake up in the morning, I'm just like, you know what? There's a prayer my grandma always used to tell me. You know, the Lord's Prayer and everything. But the most important part of the prayer is, for yours is the glory. The glory is never ours.
It's not for us.
Because you know why? It's a grace and mercy while I can even wake up and do something. Every day I look in the mirror, I'm saying, you know what? I'm not perfect, but at least I try. And I'm not trying to, I'm just trying to make a contribution. While before I leave this,
not just the contribution. So to interject, it's a contribution without wanting the roses sung. So even for me as an author, at times I've had to pull myself and say, why are you getting so mad about your roses not get sung? And I'm like, it's not on a personal level why I want to be praised for individual things. Maybe that's how it comes across. But if you gave me an award for a book prize, then more people get to hear about the book. That book is life-changing.
Yeah.
I believe it will change lives. We have like a COVID situation with us dying at the moment and going to prison. So this is a real attack on my people. So when I'm getting upset that it's not getting the noise it gets to reach those grassroots group people you meet, it becomes very frustrating. So the reason for being upset for not having a roses song is because of the reach and what the book could potentially do. But you've not cared about your roses not getting sung, and that's why I say it's important for me to say you've done.
And it's appreciated.
Outside of my books, I don't know how many authors, because a lot of authors have ego. Once they become an author, anyone before them wasn't important, and anyone after them was not important. It's weird, and this is within the black community, because I'm going to talk about black authors as well. So yeah, I was saying, bro, there's a lot of authors and just human beings with egos, and I wanted to know if they come and give you the acknowledgement of, I don't know, saying thank you for my book being on your store. I've acknowledged that it's managed to reach people that it wouldn't necessarily write if it was in a big so-called bookstore like Foyles or any of the other ones.
Mainly under, like, what would be considered underground authors.
Yeah.
So like, big up Sister Fayola, who recently lost her father, rest in peace. Uncle Adeyemi, great man, you know, and his daughter was a school teacher, and she, you know, ventured into creating history books for children. She's always grateful and thankful. Selena Brown of the Black British Book Festival. She's got a book called Green Juice.
Yeah, I've got it, yeah.
Yeah. So she's thanked me. Yourself, you know, and also, you know, Kehinde Andrews. I like to big him up still.
Yes.
He's got a book called Psychosis of Whiteness.
Is that from the Nation?
No. Kehinde Andrews is a prominent author. I think he's professor at a university.
I've heard of his name. That's right.
But he's author of Psychosis of Whiteness, and also retelling black radicalism for the 21st century. And he's actually got a good story, not a good story, inspirational story, because he actually lost his wife, and I think he's got 4 children, and now he's a single father, promoted revolutionary literature. When he did the Oxford State of Union address, and he was talking about, you know, what the British Empire owe us. You remember when he had the thumbs down? He had more thumbs down than he had thumbs up. That's why I knew he was telling the truth, because a lot of them didn't like the fact that he's been on, you know, BBC and all of these major media platforms and talked about colonization in its real sense. Okay. He's even the one that came on, I think, BBC and said that the British weren't the first to abolish slavery. It was actually the Haitians who actually abolished slavery, Toussaint Louverture. So he's actually, you know, very humble in real life. When I met him at the Black British Book Festival, I said, you know what, you know, I see what you're doing, I see the struggle, and you continue to do what you're doing. Very down to earth, authentic guy.
So those are the authors.
Those are the main.
Those are the authors who've come back to you and said, did that, because I've seen a lot of authors, even some of the well-known industry authors who, I'm not going to say no names, but I've seen those books on your platform. I've seen a variety of unknown authors, supposedly underground.
Big up Chris Sibier as well. Chris
Chris has been on here. Chris, product of my environment. Chris, author of that, and a couple other titles. It's on top. Yeah, so I want to big up those authors personally as well for acknowledging you, because I don't want it to be that we undermine our own support as not something to be celebrated. We'll celebrate a Foils or a Waterstones or a I don't know, Penguin or no disrespect to any of these. I'm just saying it as it is. We'll not knowing that the industry doesn't support all of us. So we'll be proud to even be on those platforms, to be associated with the industry and in terms of making it. But for me, I've made it when I look at those pictures and I say, rare, people like yourself. When people say to me they've gone in Peppers and Spice, when people say to me they've gone in Brown Eagle and seen my book and bought my book, when someone buys 100 books, you could never have that as an author from being on Waterstones or Foils or being targeted or being maybe even signed and having a contract and published and, well, you probably could if it's independent, but it would the focus be, would the person even want to buy 100 books if he was getting so much support? Maybe so, if the book was that powerful, I don't know, but I'm just saying platforms like yourself, which are very rare and far and few in between, have done a lot for black authors in this country. And because this podcast is talking about those authors, and you mentioned Chris is one who's been here, I'm not gonna not interlink it all back to sources like yourself and saying thank you again. So I know you don't want your roses sung, and that's why I highlighted all this. Why I'm going in a big circle to explain this. It's important that us as authors give that credit back to you and say, you know what, bro, I see you and I thank you, because those books have reached so many people. So Foils, I've never bragged about Foils having 100 books, buying 100 books of mine and going back to Foils and inviting someone from Foils down to interview them about the book. Maybe it'll be a good angle because they'll tell you about the industry. But my point is, those 100 books were bought from the heart. The books you bought, and I don't know, it might be more than 100. I don't know how much books because not everyone's taking pictures. We've got around 30. Yeah. So about those who don't take pictures, I can't remember how much times you bought books of me. So again, thank you for the distribution. Moving on though.
Before you move on, I'd just like to, unlikely source, I want to bring you back because you might not even remember. There was Junior Minister Spence, Pastor Spence, who is,
big up Junior Spence,
Minister for Word of Faith, he did an event where he was talking about the violence in the community. I think a young person that just got killed, or
in Wood Green, someone.
So he was I think it was like a Stop the Violence, and I remember you
pray for the youth.
I remember many people that were talking, that they allowed members of the community to talk, but I remember your impact was so powerful at that. What you had to say is, Minister Spence put his hand up and said, all right, we want people to purchase the book right now, like invest. And I don't think you remember that we have to big up Minister Spence for this. Is 500 people, he bought 500 books that day in Wood Green. Minister Spence, he said, like in church when they said raise your hands for those who want a copy, or who can invest. He managed to raise, I think, sell about 500. No, was it 500? He donated 500
again, and you just
I have to bring you back to these memories, bro.
I gotta stop doing this. Oh my god! I thought, because when you was talking, I thought you was alluding to something I said on stage.
Yeah.
Because you asked me if I remember what I said on stage, and I'm like, I don't remember what I said on stage. So I thought you was about to say that, but again, Junior Spence.
Yeah, man.
There's so much other people. This prison, my journey's been so supported.
So it's broken borders.
Junior Spence. Junior Spence. After that talk in church, I don't know if he got pastors or whatever to invest, and they bought a selection of books. And with those books, I was able to go around the whole of wherever and just give out free books. I've bigged up Junior before, but you, again, like I said, I'm always on the move. And when I said New Beacons, Peppers, that's me, have I forgotten anyone? Junior Spence, pray for the youth, but it's someone else that I'm seeing their face, and I can't just pinpoint his name, another pastor, and forgive me, I'm seeing your face, brother, thank you for the work. A younger pastor, he supported my journey, he's bought books, he's done the same thing, and even through that talk, so he was at the event as well, and he brought me to an event where there was other pastors, and I was like, yeah. They said, what's the solution? I said, and I think I was junior, understood my frustration at the time. Sometimes you can appear ungrateful because people can't see your vision. And they were like, people who want to buy books or raise money to buy books. I'm like, yeah, that's good. But it's not 100 books I need to do whatever. I need, if you're asking me what I need, because the speech was impactful, and I was saying, I feel like I have a vision that can be, but I need the support of the church. One of the support is I can't get into the schools, and I've been a church youth myself growing up. Get me into all the churches around the country and let me come in and explain the workshop of Prison to the Street and intertwine what my journey as a believer about God and the devil, and explain my testimony, but intertwine it in the workshops. And then where the schools are not paying me, if you genuinely believe I'm on a mission, don't buy 100 books of me. Let's not get caught up in the Holy Spirit. I've been to church, it frustrates me. So it might come across the ungrateful, because I'm like, I don't want 100 books to give to them. Yeah, I'm grateful, don't get twisted. But this isn't the resolve of what I need when you ask me what I need when I'm on stage. It was never 100 books, and that's sometimes probably why I forget it. I don't talk about it as much, but it was. I'm still super grateful, but because those books have impacted life. Sometimes what your vision is not what it's supposed to be. So what I wanted, though, but I'll tell you what I wanted on a personal level was, let's support me so I don't need to be paid by the schools. They evidently don't want me in, so let's go in where if I'm being funded by the churches itself, and you believe in the mission, the saying it's affected life. I talk about God at the end of the book. It's a testimony, so to speak. Invest in me so I can go into the schools around the country and do this, and all the churches around the country. And we had 1 or 2 meetings, not me and Junior, I told Junior where it was on the phone what I wanted to do, and it never manifested. So I might have appeared ungrateful, but sometimes people mock my vision to create change. So I'm like, don't belittle it. Don't have me on stage saying what I'm saying, getting that response from you lot as churchgoers. You're not street guys. Exactly. But look at your response. Like, there was a guy called Amani there. So imagine the impact I could have had in the schools. If this is how you respond to church people and adults who are not from the street, how do you think I could impact the children? How do you think I did when I'm in the prisons? It's not the first time I've done a talk. I don't say it because it's cocky. I've said it because I've done the work in prisons and in the space of an hour and seen the impact. How much more impact could one have if there was more of a platform for me, and to not get them in prisons, because I don't like working at that level. I like to work at prevention, not intervention. I feel like intervention is just a waste of time. It's not a waste of time. I feel like it. I know it still affects those willing to change, but I don't want to work there. I want to, and that was my whole thing. 100 books isn't going to satisfy me because I don't work in prevention. I mean, intervention, I work in prevention. So 100 books is intervention. It's good, but I want to get them, and it could be parts prevention for those who have never read the book, but let me get into the schools, explain what the book's about, explain the workshop, and do a whole body of work. And I think that because I believed in the church so much that they were going to do that, I was angry. I prayed about it. It's not just the church. God, I was like, God, why are these people acting like it's the church? Me, this is why I don't. You understand? And I was like, yeah, man, it rattled my faith a bit. But going back to the positive side, I'm so grateful for the books that was paid for. And I've told you that initially. I've told him, I think I told him my feelings at the time as well. This is just me relaying it back to yourself.
I think around the time you're going everywhere where you could, as I said, one thing I commend you with is that you had motion. You understand? You're doing it yourself. There's a difference, because I come into contact with people who have that support, like that Princess Trust or whatever. They have that support there, or they're funded. The fact, not to say we're against all funding, but the type of funding is very important as well. That's another issue. But I'm saying, when you're self-reliant and you have to determine how successful your product is going to be, it's up to you to do that groundwork. And just like me, it's like, that's why, we resonate, our works resonate with each other, because
similar journey.
Bro, sometimes when I wake up in the morning, I say my prayers. This is how we do. Whoever's there in the mornings, because we do 10 till 10 on the front lines, Oxford Street, Brixton, whatever. We leave get there for about 10 o'clock and stay there till 8 o'clock. Now we don't know. We're stepping out in faith, because you may say you have faith and whatever, but you know, for us, we really have to have that faith, because you don't know what every day is going to bring. Everything is organic, nothing's forced. Everything is like, you don't know who you're going to come into contact with. When I wake up in the morning, and even before we go out to do our works, whatever members with me, I make sure that we say our reverence for, you know, having the opportunity to do something productive with our lives, and even being, because there's so many in the community that's lost their lives. So just to use your time constructively. And what I notice is that we really step out in faith, because from day to day, we don't know what the day is going to be. We just know that maybe the weather forecast said it isn't going to rain. This is an ideal day to go. But as you know, from you personally going there, you meet people you haven't seen before. You meet people, you're reunited with people. But we're really stepping out, saying, you know what, whatever we do today, let us bring, you know, the community together. That's what we pray for.
And there's risk there.
And we don't know, because remember, it's all, you know, there's risk. You know what I'm saying? There's uncertainty with everything. You know, some days we go out there, it's tough. Some days we go out there, it's beautiful. I remember one day, you know, walking down the road, we see Chronics, and then he stopped and, you know, took interest in the books. You know, people like David here would just stop him.
Big up David.
Yeah. So
was it through Black Child Promotion?
I don't think that one was through.
No, that's through Dot Another Bio. Yeah, but he's still big up as well.
But his book on mental health and stuff is a very brave to talk about that, something that was taboo and stigmatized within our community.
He's a great actor.
Yeah, definitely, and very articulate, very, very intelligent brother. We've had Kwame Kweyama as well. Big him up. I've grown up with him as well, one of my mom's good friends and stuff. So he was actually responsible for. He used to mentor me as a young youth, wayward youth as well. So Kwame Kweyama, we big him up. We big up all of the Poets Corner. You know, he's supported. Like
Poets Corner. Who's Poets Corner?
I think
Carl.
I don't know his name, but he actually came past the stall and he said, I don't want a book today, but here's £65
Tall, fair skin guy.
Yeah.
He's got
He's
his own podcast and stuff.
Okay, but
I'm not sure if it's the same person. I don't want to.
I think the tall brother.
Big him up anyway.
Yeah. So he said, look, I just support anything. Every once in a while, he'll just come and support. He said, listen, I'm busy right now, but here, take this.
It sounds like the same.
Yeah, very. You know what I'm saying, and a lot of the young people come. I think a youth project came by, some brothers that are doing mentoring, because you know, because of austerity, they've taken 2 billion out of youth services. So there's some brothers that come together and try to take youth for the day out. So they're taking them to Nike Town, but they said before you even get to Nike Town, we have to spend at least £100 with these brothers here that are doing the work.
So I want to not just thank you, I want to thank all of those people who, if you watch this, for supporting this man, because every macro, it's important, seriously, man. This is like, it's powerful. Sometimes I forget the power of networking, and this has been amazing. Whoever supported you has supported other people in buying those books and enabling you to get more books to keep coming back. So I want to thank those people, but I want to ask you another question before we get ready to round this up. I want to ask you a few more questions before we round it up. One of them is, tell me 5 of the books, or 3 to 5 of those books that you would say have sold the most and been most impactful since having the stores. Because there's a lot of authors who might not know, like myself, how much books you've actually, because you forget. Remember, an author's thing is, no disrespect to the store, is to get a book in a bookshop or on Amazon. That's your first, you're not thinking, let me go Black Child Promotion. You're not thinking that.
Yeah.
I'm different because of our relationship, but the majority of those people who probably met you, I wonder how my book's doing on that platform. But me and you've been talking all the way through for years. It's not just that I gave you a book and met you. So for those authors, tell me 5 of those, or 3, however many you want, that people have come back and said this book, or picked it up and just been drawn to it.
Well, we've got the evidence, we've got the receipts to show that Prisoner to the Street, Freedom to the Street, Mama Can't Raise No Man. I can't.
I was actually talking outside of.
But outside of that, we're talking.
So I don't know if my books are in that 5.
No, it definitely is. But I'm saying, there's books from around the diaspora. So one of the major books that I think sells is the ISIS papers, Dr. Francis Cress Wilson. That as soon as it comes, it goes.
Okay.
As you know, you see that film Baby Boy.
With my John Singleton, with my my inspiration to why I probably am alright. So let's say
so at the beginning, her analogies at the beginning of the movie, Dr. Francis
him being in the I need that book. You just sold me a book. I need that book because that there, I always thought John Singleton wrote that. Oh, I need that book. What's the name of that book?
So it's called the ISIS Papers. In fact, I've got you. When I get another copy, I've got you because right now it's sold out.
When she's talking about the male being a baby, even though he's in the womb.
Yeah.
What's Mama Can't Raise No Man?
Same.
You see my inspiration? I thought the inspiration came from John Singleton. I'm inspired by the way he visually captured it, but I'm inspired by whoever wrote the ISIS Papers, and I don't even know where my inspiration came from. You just brought it back full circle.
Another one I would say is Anansi and Mr. Drybone. Yeah,
the big book.
The big, that's nostalgia right there.
That's our childhood. Been passed
so obviously, people that see that book, it brings fond memories of
even as it's getting.
So the other one would be Blueprint for Black Power.
I don't know.
That's by Amos Wilson. So he was a prominent Pan-Africanist.
I know the name.
Especially during the 90s, inspired people like Khalid Mohammed as well as literature. And he's a quote that I've said many times is he says in that book, The Blueprint for Black Power, he says, we deny the ambiguity of power to our peril. Our refusal to accept its existence doesn't make it suddenly vanish from reality. It's therefore our undeniable obligation to understand this thing called power and use it to benefit ourselves and the community. Now, we all have power, you understand? But we sometimes...
It's deep, and I don't know how you remember things word for word. I can't even remember things I've written word for word. You're remembering things other people wrote, and it's powerful.
So that's don't be apathetic. We shouldn't be apathetic towards power. The other one you'll know is the philosophy and opinions of the most honourable Marcus Garvey. And I'll say that's in a tie with Message to the People, because the little book Message to the People.
So 1 second, pause, because I excluded myself from this. Are you putting my book up there with Marcus Garvey?
I'm putting the book up there.
No, in terms of most sold or
yeah, definitely. Because look, a lot of the UK authors outside of David Olasugba, Kehinde Andrews, Selena, Fayola, a lot of the British titles, they want the international authors, a lot of people that come to the store. But one that resonated, you see it for yourself. You know, big people have come, people from all parts of the community have come, because you have to...
I was saying that for me, it's like, I'm not out there with you. So I know you say, you see your book, but whatever. I'm overwhelmed and grateful for it to be amongst them international sellers. Marcus Garvey, the ISIS Papers, whatever sold most. Nancy, come on, man, that gives me butterflies. But I'm hearing that my book's up there. My own friend from primary school seeing it. These are overwhelming things that we overlook on our own journeys. We're so focused on getting to the destination and what we want to see something achieved, that when something's been achieved, we don't actually see that it's been achieved, because we're looking for... So this, for me, is overwhelming. This is, for me, it's more valuable than an award. This is my award. This is my Booker Prize award. This is my Grammy. This is my moment when I'm told that my book is sold. So I don't see. So, you were saying...
We've got the receipts. Think about it. 30 pictures of your all of your titles from... everybody of different age groups,
different areas,
diversity of our people, holding up the books, different demographics. You got people of old age, young people, you know.
And you're saying to me, of all the books sold, I said, what's your top 5? Mine is in the top 3.
Yeah, definitely.
And that's
and that includes 2 titles. That includes Prisoner to the Streets. Obviously, there's Freedom to the Streets, but Prisoner to the Streets and Mama Can't Raise No Man.
Yeah, those I've had. Those have been a long-standing one.
So it's a balance, because Prisoner to the Streets is popular amongst the brothers, and Mama Can't Raise No Man is popular amongst the sisters. So you're catering for different,
And it's not just the youth, because people like to box you and say, "Oh, books are
all
for
age
the
groups.
My books ain't for the youth."
All age groups. You see it, that we got receipts. All age
those receipts. I'm thanking you for keeping those receipts.
Definitely.
If you hadn't kept those receipts, I wouldn't know. And so I'm saying to you, not only am I thankful for you promoting, but you've kept the things you promoted. So when an author needs to stop and say, "Oh, let me look back at my work," I don't have none of these. I didn't have none of these pictures before, so I'm like, yeah, I'm just thankful to you, man. There's some I had on a hard drive, but I don't know what that hard drive's done. So just to see it in its magnitude,
and the people who did take pictures also, you know, which is just as much.
So yeah, man, big shouts out, people, please, Black Child Promotions. Wherever you see this man or book selling, just go and find it author. You probably won't, you'll be surprised what you find. And yeah, massive thanks to the people buying books, because not just for me, it's a reflection of how much we invest in our own authors that would have got missed had it not been for us documenting and maybe showing that there will be a rumor again that we don't support each other. Your store's an example. Not just us, big up all the white people, all the Asian people, colours, the thing that they've created to divide us. Big up everyone who supported. And what I do like, I'm not just supported, who are interested to know about Black literature. So I respect that. So I know you must be a prejudgment. I've been there times and I've seen all types of people walk past. Elderly white men, young white men, elderly white women, young women, elderly Asian men, and people would have a prejudgment. So they say, don't judge a book by the author. Don't judge the reader by their background.
Yeah.
Because I've seen every single person that's created on this earth, I'm not saying every person because I've not been there, but when I've been there, I've seen different languages stop to talk to you.
Definitely.
And to buy books. And I love that diversity, and that's what I want. I'm not just trying to create a black platform. Predominantly, I'm just saying that black people's literature needs to be heard. And they've shown that they've seen that themselves. And by accessing your platform, they're able to reach those readers. So big shout out to those people. And again, it's like we own, everyone's black and white thinking, this is for black people. No, this is for everybody. This is for people who want to read. This is for people who are interested in that information and not scared. So I'm sure you get prejudgment in terms of when people walk by, because I've seen people walk by, look at your books, gone to pick up a book, saying it's black and white. They've kind of been disgusted that you're promoting this type of information. But then there's other people who have stopped, and I'm a person who tries to look at things objectively. I'm like, if I was black, but I'm black, so if I was white and I was walking past, and I was walking past a black book, how would I feel about this in my country?
I'll tell you,
and that's just me personally. I'm not judging. I'm not saying.
I'll tell you one example.
Yeah, but before you get that, I just want to give you my nose would probably be, because you know there is a lot of people who believe that all this, because there's so much, the struggle of the black revolution has been diluted through things like Black Lives Matter and all this other stuff, and celebrities campaigning like they will do for knife crime, but when they do it, it's important, and when other people have been doing it for years, it wasn't important, and so etc. So it's like this, it could get missed in the fact. Think people come up to you and think, he's on this mission to, he's on a revolution, he's trying to, this is a war, he's trying to get people to hate us. No, we're just looking at history from not his story's perspective, history from perspective of our own. It's good to get the enlightenment. So how do you, tell me about some experience, and how do you deal with it when it comes?
I'll tell you some of the most unexpected events have happened there for me in my life. Like people who wouldn't usually even give me the time of day, because I'm presented with with rare literature that even they have been lied to, and they aren't exposed to black excellence on that level. So when they see it in places like central London, especially, because when we're in the community, more time everybody knows us and supports us, like Brixton, but central London, it's like, wow, like, because usually we're supposed to be basketball players or footballers or whatever, or rappers. So when you're seeing us, and then when you actually inquire, because what we do is we have a policy where we don't say, would you like a book? Would you want to buy a book? We organically let the people come in for themselves.
I've seen that. So I've never heard you tell any person to come and look at a book.
And there's a reason for it, because when they come on their own terms, then they'll gravitate towards it. I've had experiences where even Muslim women from Saudi Arabia have come to the table and left the envelope. When I opened up the envelope, they said, "Thank you for all you're doing in your own community. Here's $200." You know what I'm saying? And
Even without the money.
yeah, no. But I'm just saying, like
just mental,
like from Saudi Arabia, you got
give thanks for them.
people from even like Irish people coming to buy a book. So they are thirsty for knowledge themselves because they have been lied to. You understand? A lot of the white supremacist type mentality, you know, they've been lied to. They believe, I've been taught to think that I was superior.
Taught to be divided. That's why I say, this is what I said to you before. I'm not, I probably get the same judgment you get in terms of that creating a platform for black authors or black or whatever. When I talk on the black, I'm black, I'm African. Black is the color of the camera. Never met a black person. I'm African. This nation, there's no color, there's no human race. We can't be race. You're confused to be in a race with other people. They've created race to divide. So I'm not in the race. I'm saying that I'm of the African nation. When I read the Bible, it says go forth and multiply nations. It doesn't say go forth and multiply colors. So it's a systematic thing. So I'm against good over evil. People that fought against enslavement of my people. I'm against the people who fight for righteousness, and then some of my people who afford it, and some of them who are sellouts, and etc. etc. I mean, it goes on both sides. So greed is the reason why a lot of the people behave the way they behave and create these systems. So when it comes to my writing, I don't write just for black people. No, I write to enlighten people who don't understand the black experience, and I don't want to prejudge. That's why I'm able to put myself objectively in a white person think, I could see why they would walk past and feel that way. I wouldn't cuss them out. I've been there when I've seen certain people walk past and I thought, I get that. Like, I'm not being funny. I get maybe he's at the age where he's so ignorant and he has a firm belief that this is the story. You lot came here and not understanding that we helped out after World War II and helped fight. Like, they're not knowing certain things from history, so just think, they come here, they're violent, look at all of. Like, I can see where your perspective can be marginalized. Because the stereotype, the same way you as a person who is not of the African nation or European could think these people are no good, or they're all the stereotypes. I could see how you can buy into that. So when you do go to a store and see even a black man, a Rasta man who you heard is violent and a radical rebel doing these things, and you converse with him and you think, he's a cool guy, he's not radical, he's actually, it's like, that is impactful. So again, bro, big up, we're in line, because my writing's not to reach, and I hate when people try to minimalize it. They always try to downplay your things because of their lack of understanding. Prison to the Streets was just a book for the children. No, it's a book that lots of children love. But a lot of adults go on Amazon, read the reviews, and most of those, I don't know if any reviews on Amazon are by a single child. A single person under the age of 16. So again, it's the perception. So everyone will think your books only sell to black people. They don't. They don't. I'm telling you. Well, congratulations on what you're doing and what you've been doing, bro. And continue to keep doing what you're doing. What's your journey going forward, and where can people find you?
What? First of all, let me say love and appreciation for having me on your platform as a brother and as also a comrade. In this struggle to liberate
fellow warrior,
a journey to liberate ourselves and liberate the minds of our people.
And it's not, I don't think it's our choice, it's something we've been pushed to do.
Definitely.
You said you wasn't, I said it's a choice, but we make the choice to not run away from the calling. That's what I mean by a choice. So yes, you're molded into a certain family, you're molded into a certain background, you have experiences that make you inspired to go and want to do these things. And you've been molded. I know that much. I've seen you talking on programs before social media, what people want to know about the black struggle. Before it was popular to do it, before it was fashionable. I've seen you do these things before you had dreadlocks. Before you knew yourself. Before you even knew yourself. When you was a child, I'm not saying that locks enables you, but before you knew who you was as a person, because you were young. So you've been doing the works innately because it's divinely connected to the source of who you are, and I've been doing the same, and it's allowed us to connect because we haven't rejected the calling or the purpose completely. And that's what's allowed us to now see the fruits. Because today for me, today's going to be a celebration as we round this up, because I didn't realize how far my books, I keep thinking I got one, has been been magnified on your platform and has gone to another level. So yeah, I'm just, not just for me again, all the authors, all the people who buy books of all the background. Knowledge is power once all wisdom is applied, we know. Well, not everyone know that, but we learn. And having a platform such as yours allows us to all connect as a human, I'm not going to say that R word, as human beings having a spiritual experience on earth. Because this could all be a test. God could be testing us to see the way we're divided by race. Yeah. So I want to big you up. Your platforms has allowed other people to come together and just have a common theme. Just read and put all of that nonsense aside. Allow us to be human first.
I like to big up the youth as well, because
big up the youth.
Even when you're out there, you see the amount of youth that gravitate towards the table.
Yeah, and
Frederick Douglass said there that it's easier to raise stronger children than it is to all right. So every time the youth, sometimes they'll be like, "Yeah, big man, I see you doing," but it's like they can see us doing something constructive. The youth have always, even when it's been raining on us,
and that's important.
They hold the cover for us. Like we see this. It's like your book outlines that we are not no gangs and these big criminal masterminds. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. That they try to make us the bogeyman of Western society. Yeah. So a lot of people, when they come with their cognitive bias based on our characteristics that they deem as unfavorable, like this is the biggest mind F that this store, because it shows you that not only are we well versed in what's going on in society, that we're innovators and we're not just all pigeonholed. It's not even like rappers, thrillers, trappers. We're none of these things. You understand? So when we come out of that prisoner mindset, as you would say, the world is our oyster.
Do me a favor, Sir King. There's that book, Jews, Slaves and the Slave Trade, behind you. Yeah? Pass that book. I just want to say this.
Yes.
Did you give me this?
I never gave you this one.
Alright, cool. There's a reason why I asked this, because I'm not going to move the chair, but at the bottom of this bookshelf, I wrote the books that you gave me about African history and Caribbean, history. Now, again, I've learned a lot from coming to your platform itself and looking at the books and seeing certain historical books of information I didn't know, things I was ignorant to, things I still am ignorant to. But I said to you, Sully, just to round this up, I've got a book I want to write. I had a dream about it. God brought it to me. And I said it to you maybe 2-3 years ago. I said, but bro, I can't write that book yet. And I'm not going to get into reasons why. I was like, yeah, the world's not ready for that one yet. I got to wait for that one. And I said, I'm not ready for it yet. Imagine there's a book that I'm not ready for yet. And I said, why? Because the information that I need to process the story that I want to tell is sitting on that store. Black Child Promotion. So in order for me to write that book, I have to go away and take these books and I'm going to engross myself with it, but the story is going to come from these books, but the story is already here. So I want to thank you from when this best-selling book does come out and whenever I decide to get to it, because it's not on my next 5. It's on the computer lineup, but it's not in my next 5. It's probably the last, not say the last book, one of the last books I write before I say, you know what, I don't need to feel like I need to do this anymore. And I know that that's like the Champions League of book, and that's inspired by Black Child Promotion. So let's just bear in mind what you
just know. Say this: in everyday places, everyday people, in the heart of the community, the grassroots. In my mind, you sold thousands already. In the people that you're actually trying to reach, going through the work that you've been doing consistently over the years, even the exodus back to South Africa, I've been watching what's going on over there and reconnecting with your roots, not just talking about it, but actually going and reconnecting your roots. It's all admirable, my brother. So I just wish you long life, health and prosperity. And
same way, man.
The South African saying that says, "A luta continua," may the struggle continue, my brother.
Bro, we are not gonna go without me sending that love right back at you. Continue. I want you to tell people where they can find you. I want you to let people know what you got, your future plans or any that you want to share. And also we have to pay respects to your late father, who's a legend. Meeting him, sorry.
One is Striker Lee, the original Gorgon, you know, rest in peace, rising.
Meeting your dad, the original Bunny Striker Lee, was emotional. In McDonald's, I think it was Green Lanes. I think I think we first met.
The office.
I see why you are who you are. I haven't met your mum, but I see why you are part of who you are. And we just want to big up Bunny Striker because in essence, I still feel he'll be proud of what you've done, what you're going on to do. And it's just like, I got a cousin, Joe, on the Shy Man as well. He works for Jimmy Asher Foundation. And Mitchum from South London, he's gone on to carry on with my other cousins. Rest in peace, Donovan, little bro. But my other cousins, his brother, they've continued to keep his legacy going. And I'm a cousin, and I'm looking at it from East London like, yo, do you know how proud I am of you as your cousin? But your dad in the afterlife is proud. So I know my father's proud of me for going to South Africa and finding out who I am and reconnecting, but I'm letting you know your father's spirit is pleased with what you continue to do. And you've done a lot, and you're gonna, that's what I say, let people know where they can find you, let them know what you continue to do. And I just wanted to say on that note, final one more, bro, big up, you are inspirational, you are a beacon of light for not just Tottenham, for our people, man, and not just UK. You are inspirational. Thank you. Thank the Most High for the calling He gave you, and thank you for walking in that calling against all the adversity, the trials, the tribulations, the letdowns. There's good days, lots of times, but thank you for continuing when sometimes the cons outweigh the pros. So bless you. And sorry, that was one Bunny Striker, and I forget. Uncle Mike. I know that you might not be able to ever watch this show, but I know that just the fact that my brother Michael came to see us today, and I tell people don't ring my buzzer because they're not gonna keep it a secret. Police tried to bug me the other day, come to my house because they don't stop harassing me. And I don't like my buzzer just rang about people phoning me, but my friend Michael showed up today to help me with some of the filming. I'm like, Michael's with us. Indirectly, I know he's suffers with dementia.
I said he wanted the pictures of the original interview he did with you way back in the day.
Got me a bit. So again, big up. And that was it. What's the name of it? Bang Radio? Not Bang Radio.
Oh, it was
Northwest London.
It was Omega FM.
Omega FM. Is it Northwest London?
Northwest, yeah.
Yeah, Northwest. Is it Housing?
Around that.
Yeah, there's Bang and there's Omega down there. But when we did that interview, man, the vibe was right. And he's always supported me as well. So it's just hard that I know he won't be able to see this physically. But yeah, shouts out to Uncle Mike, man. And again, other Uncle Mike, West Green Road in the bookshop. We cannot forget the Shy Man. He's still alive, he's still functioning well.
But he's gone on to do some musical endeavours now. Mikey, another legendary brother. Yeah, man, there would be no Black Child Promotions if it wasn't for Mikey as well.
So big up Mikey, we can't forget Mikey, man, and his children as well. Mikey, so that's the connection again between me and you. Mikey's another, Baba Buntu in South Africa who I went to meet. I'm going to send him this and he's going to...
And I wasn't too close to him, but I have to. I wasn't like very close with him, but he's a legendary figure in our community. Big up Dougie, Rising Power Dougie.
Rising Power, listen.
Rising Power Dougie.
Rest in power, rise in power. Brother Dougie, I forgot he passed away as well. Yeah, I wasn't too close to him either, but he always supported what I was doing as well. Powerful figure from Tottenham, the Tottenham community, the elders.
And he was actually the first, I'll say this, he was actually the first out there on that same corner in the 80s. So that corner in Seven Sisters, Ward's corner, the Conscious corner now,
Was Dougie doing books as well?
Dougie was doing books from the 80s. Wow. And then you had a group of Ansarallah.
Because someone did say that to me. My sister Sabera, who was meant to be on the platform today,
but Dougie was out there
today. She couldn't make it.
Yeah.
She was saying, I was saying, I think Sully was one of the first to ever do this. She was like,
no,
it was going on before. So big up you for shouting out, brother Dougie.
Before we were born, he was out there.
That's why I was because that's what I'm saying. So big up, brother Dougie, and big you up for continuing the legacy, because there's so much Tottenham figures, Bully, there's big up Classford, big up,
Yeah.
rest in peace Rocky, Lyndon Waters, who's still here kicking about, who's been here last season's Lyndon Waters, who was older.
Papa T, big up, Rising Power, Papa T.
Papa, there's so much, I can't even think of, but older Tottenham figures for me who have done the works, and so much people are continuing in their footsteps. I know I've missed a lot of names, so no, I'm not taking it personal because my mind's not on that right now. But yeah, just to round up, I wanted to say thank you again. Let people know where they can find you and your future endeavours, please.
Yeah, so anytime the weather's good at the moment, we're usually in Oxford Street. We're not frequently outside of Oxford Street now. So we're usually there Thursday and Fridays usually.
Yeah.
But any day that the weather's good, every
course.
day that the weather permits, we try to remain consistent there. So just all you need to do is go to Black Child Promotions Instagram. We always post our location when we're there.
So this interview's come at a good time because summer's hopefully, it's Britain, but hopefully it's about to kick in. And if summer kicks in, then we're going to be seeing you a lot around Oxford, Brixton. I want to see you back in Tottenham. I've said this to you before off camera. I'm going to say this. You know what I'm going to say to you today? And I'm going to say it on camera. I want to see you in Hackney. I know I ain't got no copies of my book in stock at the moment, whether my books are there or not. I want to see you in Hackney.
You know the reason I haven't done Hackney is because do you know there's a sister. She's been doing it.
Mama Rose.
Mama Rose.
Yeah, Mama Rose is gonna come in here as well. Mama Rose.
Yeah. So the only reason is that I don't want to because obviously she's a elder that's been doing it from a long time.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't want to.
I'm gonna. Have you ever spoken to her? Because Mama Rose her name's Mama Rose because she's a mama. She's one of the reasons who she's promoted my book on her. So the same way you have. But she gave me a book. It's on a bookshelf somewhere. Before I never read it, but she gave me one of my first books when I was on the streets, 16 years old, living in Clarence Road as a Holly Street boy, having war with Clarence Road boys and getting into like all types of craziness. She gave me a book, and she knew I was beefing with everybody more or less on that state, and it was about psychology book, the games that people play. Called The Game That People Play by Penn, published by Penn. I never read it, but I had to see her. When I saw her, I had to let her know I've never forgotten what you've done and imparted in me by giving me a book. Because at that time I was strapped, and I wasn't thinking reading, and to have that, it's like, yeah, she was that beacon of light that I'm talking about in you. Yeah. When you only see one, you live into the stereotype and ignorance of your destruction, but then you see other people doing it. It's like the lower mat, the balance. I needed that to get to where I am. So yeah, Mama Rose, I've not been able to get through to her, but hopefully she'll be on this season as well, if I can get through to her. But yeah, we love Mama Rose, man. So I would, even if it's just for one day, I want to see you in Hackney, and there's a reason why I'm discussed that with Mama Rose, of course. And being Mama, she's loving, so I'm saying she nurturing. She want you to go out there and whatever, but I want to see the impact of my own work in Hackney, because although grew up in Hackney, Tottenham, this is a lot of the stories here. So I would love to just see it, even if it's for one day. That's what I would ask of you, man, to see the impact it gets in Hackney. But you've been Stratford, like you said, you've been everywhere. So yeah, again, bro, round up, thank you for being here. You wanted to round up with a few things in case we forgot anything.
Yeah, man, so I'm saying as well, my brother, give yourself some credit, because I remember some great times. I remember when you saw that Hackney Empire. My nephew now, he's actually 24 going on 25, my nephew Javon, and I remember taking him to your event at 13 years old or 14 years old.
Is that not Michael's son?
No.
Is that the one that had dreadlocks?
No, different one. My nephew, my sister's boy, yeah. Well, man, he's a big man now, but I'm saying I remember he still remembers that to now. And I would say that a lot of people actually knew about your book before. Like, a lot of people asked us for the book. Have you got Prisoner to the Streets? Have you got Mama Can't Raise No Man, especially? So half the work was done because of your promotion of the book. And you know, I remember listening to you on BBC London Radio, and you were breaking down COINTELPRO as an analysis as to what's going on, where they, you know, flooded the black community with drugs. Imagine that on BBC Radio, London Radio. And, you know,
to dispel the myth of us being gang members.
Exactly.
Because the reason why I said that, because everyone keeps saying that we're gang members, and that's what Prison to the Street was a movement. Prison to the Street was in a book, and I'm glad you understood it, because it was saying that we didn't create this thing that we co-signed to. Yeah, we might make rules as a result of the thing that was designed for us, of the cheese that was thrown up. We say there's rules, no snitching, no this, you're allowed to kill, you're allowed to do this thing, there's no rules, we can rub each other, we can represent ends. But that's just the co-product of the actual product, being the drugs, being the guns, being the poverty, being all of that. The Prison to the Street was the mindset of the product, but everyone's still fixated on product and missing what I was trying to say or dismissing it. So when you overstood that, I said that on BBC for a reason, to explain what Prison to the Street meant. But there was somewhere else where, last thing I want to say, what I remember, which was powerful, which you've witnessed. There's so much that people won't know, like what I'm saying about you, people won't know people about things out they won't know about me, but what we've experienced together. So I think it was Papakaya by next to Bruce Grove Police Station, what's the name of that building again?
Mama Art Centre.
Mama Art Centre, where all the books are held, where Papakaya's base is. I can't remember what event was going on there, but there was an event there. And I didn't go there to speak, but I was asked to speak on the day. And the guy who I had once stabbed was there. And he came on the stage and I said, yeah, this is the guy at the end of Prison to the Street. This is the guy who I stabbed, he wrote back the letters, and everyone was shocked. And I know you witnessed that, and I was like, there's things that you would have seen why you respect me and why I respect you, because there's things, the revolution hasn't been televised.
Exactly.
That no one, Israel promoted it, but people didn't really promote the fact that there's two guys here, one stabbed the other, they made peace. This is the receipt that Prison to the Street can possibly prove. It's the theory and the practical. The theory is the mindset, the practical is that he's now with another guy who was a prisoner to the street. Even though the world tried to make it like he was a victim and I was a perpetrator, he wasn't. Even BBC One show's done that. My message has been diluted so much by people who misunderstood that he also was a prisoner to the street. He was perceived as a victim that day, but there was a lot more to the story which people see in the film, which would be, no, he wasn't the victim, he just in the wrong place, the wrong tone of voice, the wrong energy, that Prison to the Street energy was given to the person who moved to him. And I was in the come out, reacted to that. There was an argument he wanted to watch before, which means he had a Prison to the Street mindset. He was engaged in the hype and the mix-up. He's related to a lot of people who have distributed a lot of food in their community and made a rise in power as well. And I'm saying, so he comes from the same life as, maybe more of a street life than me, but it was always like he was just the innocent. Nah, that's still my mate. But the fact of the matter is, Prison to the Street wasn't about victims or perpetrators. So my message is more important than anyone's feelings. It's about prisoners to the streets who picked up a mindset. So I thank you, not just for selling my book, for always being able to reason with me, have discussions with me, giving me books so I can now sharpen my and just giving me the knowledge. Thank you. And yeah, that's me, King.
Yes.
I've got nothing else to say. It's all to you, man. That's a wrap, people. This has been Brother Michael, bless you.
Big up, Brother Michael. Bless you, too. Yeah, man.
See, he's scared to talk. Brother Michael's from Liverpool. I don't know. There's one thing being camera shy. Yeah. He's like audio shy. He's not even on camera. Yeah, but Michael, man. Yeah, no face, no case, no voice. You're not moist. You understand? It's still your choice. It's still your choice. But thank you, man. We appreciate you sincerely because, yeah, man, the support and the conversation when the cameras have malfunctioned. Yeah, man. Bless you, my brother. So, yeah, all the way from Liverpool back to London. Hope this reaches far and beyond. Another episode first. Definitely probably the most meaningful to me because I know what this has done. Interview for me. And I pray that in the Most High's name that this reaches who it needs to reach and you continue to reach who you need to reach. And big up for your qualifications in uni and keep studying. I know what you're doing and your intellect. You're not just a book promoter. So round it up, you're an intellect. You got degrees. I know you didn't get into that, but bro, keep moving.
Yeah, man.
Just keep climbing. Ashe, bless you. One love.
Love, my brother. Yeah, man.